Okay, let's get this show on the road. Alright, let's get this going, man. This is Team Abraxas against Team Slark in joint Dota League Division 2 casual gaming. But let's see what these two teams are made of. Nothing being spared from the teams in terms of bans, quickly going through it. Both teams banning, very heavy hitters in the patch. Chen OD from Abraxas. We know that if anyone has paid attention to the latest events, Chen seems to be the most successful hero in this current patch. So that's why it's banned, I suppose. The two top 3 mid heroes being banned, Outwall Devourer and Invoker, and Lone Druid from Team Slark. Lone Druid is also kinda powerful. Depends if you have a good Lone Druid player or not, obviously, but the hero itself is very powerful. It can do a lot of things. For example, push towers insanely fast with the secondary ultimate, stuff like that. Abraxas is now picking up a Vengeful Spirit, the most picked hero in, well, most picked support hero, I'm fairly sure, so far in the patch, so nothing surprising. It also guards them against a lot of heroes, such as Batrider, because, you know, if Vengeful is quick on his hands, then the Batrider goes into Lasso, you swap, and then it gets cancelled, so rest in peace, man. Also just, the ultimate in itself is very strong, because if a carry gets caught out, you can swap him, and suddenly you lose support instead of a position 1 or mid player, which is much better than the other way around. And Slark going for one of the other very aggressive lane supports, very powerful in the early game. Bane also having a lot of control, and matching it up with a second support pick already, which is Dazzle. So we have the healing guard having Grave, very annoying spell. Armor gaming with the ultimate of Dazzle, and then Bane with a lot of single target control and very powerful in the laning stage. So the heroes definitely fit their roles, man. One healer and one lane support. Very powerful. Abraxas will now continue picking up the Ratatat Nature's Prophet, which we're most likely gonna see in the offlane position. Very powerful nowadays. The trees got buffed, so they do quite a lot more damage than normally. And well, the global presence of a Nature's Prophet usually means that the mid lane and the safe lane has a bit of an easier time getting kills, since he can rotate in. He does, sacrifice his offlane presence when he TPs, but winning other lanes might be better than winning the offlane, right? And he's a very strong pusher, so decent pick indeed. Abraxas will now continue banning the Death Prophet, the third and the last of the 3 meta picks in the mid lane. Spiritbreaker as well. Spiritbreaker is very powerful against Nature's Prophet, so that makes sense. Doesn't want to get counter picked by that. Slark bans out the Spectre, so they kind of want to deny as much global presence as they can, Nature's Prophet already has global presence, so like if if Abraxas also went with a slot with a Spectre, then suddenly you have two heroes who can come in at any time at any point of the game, just initiate on people. Can be hard to work around having this kind of initiation. Slark will also ban out Drow. I guess it's to ban out some kind of vengeful Drow strat. If they would be like insanely aggressive, seeing as Dazzle is already a pretty defensive hero, Bane is a single target hero, so he doesn't offer that much if a fireman push does happen. Zeus is picked up as well. A lot of magical burst damage, pretty strong throughout most of the game with the Eidolons. So powerful. Abraxas will now respond with the Juggernaut carry pickup. Obviously, Juggernaut is one of the highly considered carry picks, and when you see something like a Dazzle with Heal Bomb, a Zeus, Bane also having magical damage, then it very much makes sense wanting to at least safeguard yourself to an extent with a Juggernaut pick, also having the healing ward, so it does also fit well with some early pushes with Nature's Prophet's trees and stuff like that. Omnislash, powerful, especially against low HP heroes like Zeus, Dazzle, and Bane. Slark will now also pick a carry that goes more into the teamfight orientated build, which is a Gyrocopter. So, you know, we have Zeus, we have Gyrocopter, we have Dazzle's D-Armor Gaming, so there's some potential teamfight coming out from both teams. Slark also being, I wouldn't say one of the better heroes against Juggernaut, but they pretty much work in the same way and can both be very good early game and very good late game. So I guess it's more or less equal in terms in that regard.
Reserve time.
Also, the Gyrocopter does have cooldown, which can deny a lot of wave pushing from Nature's Prophet. Flag Cannon doing the same thing. So the hero does indeed help them in if they were to be pushed too hard. And Abraxas taking a little bit of thinking break with the next pick. They need a mid player and a support hero. I could imagine they might be looking into picking the mid already, because there's two more bans after this pick. So if they want to be safe with what they want to get in the middle lane, then this is a good time to pick it. Whereas the support, there's a lot of options in the support area, only having a couple banned. Only the Chen and, well, Spiritbreaker, I guess, could be seen as a support in many cases, so only really one hero being banned in the support position. A lot of good support heroes still left in the pool. They can go for some tanky support with Vengeful Spirit in an Ogre Magi. They can go for something like an Oracle that people like, if they feel like healing is very useful. They do, however, pick up a Night Stalker. I could imagine it's a support Night Stalker. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe even a Midnight Stalker. There's been seen this once in a while. So, I mean, the middle lane is a little bit hard for Night Stalker since it's against Zeus. Zeus having a lot of burst. Night Stalker does have a lot of regen though. So, and once the start of the laning stage is over, Night Stalker starts being kind of a big problem for heroes like Zeus. So I actually think we're gonna see him in the middle lane position. Meaning that the last pickup is gonna be a support. We could also see in the support Night Stalker, but I kind of feel like sending him to the support role, reducing his farm, is not necessarily the best way I want to see the hero being used, since it can be a very huge playmaker early on if it just gets a little bit of experience. Queen of Pain getting banned, Clockwork from Abraxas, they do
Dire
have a lot of
team.
heroes that could suffer to a clockwork, not really having any way of getting out of the cogs. So it makes sense that they don't want to really deal with that. Night Stalker being a very fast hero, if he does get caught, then suddenly he's in trouble. So yeah, makes sense. Slark will now pick up an Earth Shaker, so a little bit of a weaker laning hero in terms of the offlane position, but the team fight it adds
10
is
seconds
pretty
remaining.
amazing. We have Gyrocopter ult, we have Earthshaker
5
at its
seconds
whole, we
remaining.
have Zeus. So a lot of stun, a lot of team fight, a lot of AoE.
Silencer.
And Slark will finish up, no, Abraxas will finish up the lineup with a Silencer. Seeing all this team fight power from Slark and mostly being spells, that means that Silencer could potentially fuck things up from Team Slark if his timing is spot on. So let's hope we're gonna see something like that, man. Whoops. Rest in peace, having muted microphone throughout the bans and picks. Oh well, that happens. We have the Dazzle already TPing to the bottom lane, so he wants to get a pretty aggressive ward put down already. If Abraxas should be trying for something like a smoke gank. But this is not the case. Just an Nature's Prophet casually walking down with his boots towards the bottom lane. Maybe trying to get some blocking happening. He's obviously seen. Puts down a ward there and yeah, walks away. They know where the ward is now though, so not too bad. A little free tree kill maybe. Oh, he's still alive. The Bane is gonna get the last hit. Bane is so fast. So fast.
30
Oh,
seconds to
easy
battle.
15 gold, boys. Top lane we have, well, the Earthshaker is sitting up here trying to be a little bit annoying, but hopefully he's not gonna try anything. So a casual rune trade is what we're gonna see.
The battle begins.
Obviously both offlaners actually have a lot of ways to be annoying in terms of pulling the wave. The Earthshaker is gonna, fisher block this wave most likely. At some point. Maybe. Or maybe not. Um, uh, I guess that's one way to do it, killing the range creep off the bat, but and Night Stalker is stuff. Nature's Prophet on this bottom, we can see the trees, man. Jesus Christ, all the damage. Just punishing this Dazzle for his foolishness. And, the tree on his mission to pull the wave, but not really gonna be in time. He's just gonna use it to block. That's one good way to use the trees. Continuously blocking the pull camp. So it's in the end, it's a middle lane position. Silence against the Zeus. It was a support Night Stalker after all, so trial in the top lane with Vengeful Juggernaut Night Stalker. In the bottom lane we have Gyro, Bane, and Dazzle. So both teams running a bit of a defensive trialing, helping the supports farm. However, in this mid lane we actually have a pretty big commitment. Not both Vengeful Spirit and Night Stalker rotating to the middle lane. Earthshaker does spot them out, and he's just gonna, walk around, walk back to this lane, still being level 1, whereas Nature's Prophet, well, also level 1, but he will now receive some farm finally. So he does have a little bit of better better time.
This sustains, good remains.
investment being picked up, so Bane might be able to go on the aggressive. He's only level 1, so the brain sub is not available. But could still do something fancy. Especially because Silencer is on around half HP. He actually, you know, walks around, maybe tries to wait for a courier. But it doesn't look like it's about to be used, so he's just gonna have to sit here for a little bit. Won't succeed with anything. He's a patient man. I mean, the Silencer does have 1000 gold banked up, so would be strange if he didn't buy anything soon. Bane just sitting here forever. Very patient. Maybe he's gonna get something, maybe not. Seems like not is the biggest option. Maybe he's just greeting for Hand of Midas. That looks like it's the case. Getting some boots on the road. Earthshaker also rotating in, trying to get him killed, but not gonna happen. Just gonna force him to pop his style, and that's about it. Both teams being very defensive right now. In terms of last hit, we have Juggernaut leading together with Silencer. So both the mid lane and the safe lane, they are having more last hits than the other team. Zeus sitting on 15, Gyro on 14. Nature's Prophet is also the offlaner who has the better time, sitting on level 4 with 8 last hits, whereas Earthshaker is having a humble level 2. So we can see the Earthshaker being a very, very weak offlaner. And he's actually being gone on now. Vengeful Spirit and Nightstalk are using a lot of spells on him. Another Void is ready. They have Vision of him. Nature's Prophet also TP in. The Global Presence. +2 to Nightstalker stealing the intelligence with the first blood. Finally going to Abraxas at 4 minutes. So this is the early game I was talking about with this Nature's Prophet. I mean, it wasn't really needed in this scenario, but just being able to TP in whenever the supports find the kill is usually enough. And Vengeful Spirit and Nightstalker once more, they're now gonna go on the Zeus, and it looks like he's in trouble. Earthshaker does TP in, but it's a little bit too late to do anything. And another kill towards Apex, more intelligence being stolen. We all know that a silencer in a core position, it's so goddamn necessary to have as much stolen intelligence as possible. This is what you rely on in terms of doing damage. So a good start being involved in both kills on his team. A lot of people gathered around the middle lane. Dazzle has been rotating a little bit in. Zeus is being very defensive now. Bane also, you know, walking a little bit around, maybe trying to do some stacking while helping the middle lane. He's safe. Nightstalker, well, it's nighttime, so he has no fear, man. Walking around finding the Dazzle, but it's not really gonna work. There are now 2 people, both supports in the top lane, waiting for this Earthshaker to make mistakes. They'll now go in on him. They won't really spot him out, using the wave in the wrong way. Gets stunned by the Fisher, but now he's spotted out. This Nightstalker is gonna go in. Tree cutting is gonna start happening. Rotation comes in, stun on Earthshaker, and he's gonna get killed before he can get graded by the Dazzle not being in range. Gyrocopter rotates in, and Nightstalker is gonna get killed. Looks like this Vengeful Spirit is in trouble. He starts getting hit by the tower, and it looks like he's gonna die from that just alone. He did juke the right way, but in the end that juke made him just die to the tower instead. So a 2-for-1, some good rotations from Gyrocopter, making sure that the Nightstalker and Vengeful got punished. Another Nature's Prophet teleporting in, global strategy man, but sadly he's not gonna land in a position that means that Zeus will die. And he's gonna have to walk away with no kill, using his ultimate also trying to kill him. But they did not have vision of the top rune, so that's sadly not gonna be a kill. Earthshaker now enjoying the last hit he can finally get. Getting level 4 now, so trying to catch up. Nature's Prophet has hit his level 6. Bane is still on a humble level 1, man. The supports are really poor, and also the offlane on T-Slark. I mean, the levels is kind of weak. Level 4 Dazzle, but if we see on the other team, we have level 3 Vengeful Spirit and level 3 Night Stalker, so they're doing a lot better, especially compared to the Bane, really sacrificing himself for what seems to just be a lot of stacking. There's what is it, 1, 2, I guess he stacked 3 different camps, so some stacking has been happening. Bottom lane now being pushed in with Juggernaut rotating in from the other lane. Urshik is sitting on the tower, trying to fissure. Juggernaut does get fissured and 2 TPs goes in, realizing that he's blocked, so they want to get the kill. But he's just gonna use his face boots and Speedy to walk the other way, and Assad not gonna be doing anything, using the spin just to make sure he doesn't get Nightmare if Bane was in range. And the 4-man rotation, Assad not gonna lead into a kill, and the tower dropping pretty low. So Nightmare does get used on the Nature's Prophet. He might be in trouble. Fisher gets used soon. He's kind of trying to use it, but he wanted to use it so like it blocked him in this area. And Nature's Prophet, knowing this, tries to like walk straight this way and make sure he doesn't get hit by it. Now Silence coming from the side, using his E on the Dazzle, using ultimate as well. Urshika tries to TP out, but that's not gonna happen. He's gonna die. Silence claiming another kill for the team. Sprout being used on the Dazzle, he's still silenced, he's still having trouble, he's affected by the Q from the Silencer. And once again, Silencer using spells, but he doesn't really want to go under the tower to get this kill. Just gonna let the Nature's Prophet do his push work. Silencer's sitting here trying to pull the wave, or at least keep it under control. Zeus and Jericho will not rotate in. They don't want to. They don't want to see this happening. This is too much for them to handle, man. Get over here. Silencer seems to be in trouble now. There's 4 people around him, and he has no way to get out. I mean, he has a TP, but that's not gonna happen. Urshik also coming from the side, and finally he will drop down, being a little bit too greedy.
Radiant's top tower is under
Tower is also still standing. Nature's Prophet trying to rotate mid and doing some rat-a-tat-tat together with Vengeful. Top lane is getting pushed by Juggernaut Night Stalker, so they're trying to turn this space slash death from Silencer into something useful. Sprout being used on the Zeus, but he looks to be fine. Not gonna die. Top tower does in the end fall. So the first tower is claimed by Apex. Having the Nature's Prophet means that it's a lot easier for them to do this sort of thing. Looks like Silencer's going for a 4-staff as his first item. Nature's Prophet almost finishing his drums. Vengeful Spirit, you know, casual boots support. Night Stalker, well, I guess he's slowly making progress for an urn. Juggernaut, he bought a Void Stone, so I imagine it's gonna be a Battlefield build going for the full tankiness. Well, not the full tankiness, the full let's get dollars in the woods, man. That's actually chasing the Juggernaut away. Kind of funny. Juggernaut doesn't really want to use Omnislash on him since that does have Grave available, so that would more or less just be a waste of an ultimate. Now we're taking a little stack. Almost dying to the creeps though. Gotta be careful, they hit quite hard. Now some rotation happened towards the bottom lane where Gyro is all alone. Smoked up Nightstalk and Vengeful Spirit wants to look for something, but Jericho doesn't want this, man. He knows he's in trouble. He TP's out, man. The spider sense is ticking in, and he's just gonna get the hell out. Speedy Spoody spider senses. Bane still very low on experience. Night Stalker is level 6, Vengeful level 5, Bane level 3, so Dazzle is doing the best in terms of the support heroes, but Bane is very much struggling in terms of levels and farm. Just walking around making sure there's some stacks available for the Gyrocopter, so I can imagine that he's gonna have a lot of fun sapping it once Gyrocopter does finally decide to take them. Under the tower, Gyrocopter hiding in the woods, rotation from Dazzle, and Silencer seemingly is gonna get out. Night Stalker's here ready. They silence up the Dazzle. No grave is available. Nature's Prophet coming in from the side. Cooldown gets used, but Dazzle is dead. But getting silenced means he's not gonna be able to grave. Vengeful Spirit is invisible. A lot of rotations coming in though. Rest of the team Slark goes in. Fisher getting used into Echo Slam, and then straight after they get silenced, but the Echo Slam did want to go off. 2 people dead, more on Team Slark. Jarakov and Earthshaker. Another kills. Zeus going down.
Radiant's top tower is
Juggernaut did in the end drop down. Bane now being the last man standing, the last man dying on Team Slark. So a 5 for 1.
middle tower is under attack.
Having this global presence and pretty much picking off one by one. Echo Slam did get used before Silencer got his ultimate off, but we can see using the ultimate means that Zeus could not use any spells whatsoever, getting the ultimate off barely before he died himself. Already getting to the point of having more than 5,000 net worth lead from Abraxas. We can see in the terms of net worth, there are 3 causes, actually the 3 leading net worth users. Juggernaut, Silencer, and Nature's Prophet. Obviously we have Nature's Prophet and Silencer. The way they get net worth early on is mostly just by fighting a lot, and this is definitely working out. Why the fuck did you kill your tree, man? That's savagery. He's trying to deny it. Denies 2 trees, man. Middle lane, we have Earthshaker being gone on, but he just TPs out. Doesn't want to get too aggressive. Night Stalker not going in on the Bane, but a TP rotation and already 3 people from Team Slark being ready to stop him. So he's gonna have to get away before he dies. Having the Urn up means that he does a lot more damage. And Silencer did not go for the 4-staff I originally anticipated, but it is a Rod of Atos, meaning that he has a huge slow available, and the new effect from the Rod of Atos also making sure that the enemy loses accuracy. Actually, it's not, you gain accuracy, so in case they do have evasion, you have an easier time of hitting them, which is you know, one of the things they did to it to make it doable against evasion items and heroes. Cooldown gets used. Nature's Prophet does get hit by 2 of them, very hugely slowed. Sprout gets used on Gyrocopter. Earthshaker trying to move in. He doesn't have Echo Slam. Fisher on cooldown. And then Nature's Prophet getting healed by there, and it seems like he's fine. Bane is now in trouble. Zeus and everyone comes in from the side. Bane finally dies. Silencer tries to TP out, but that's not gonna happen. Nature's Prophet is very much trying to help him, but now the Juggernaut comes in from the side, killing off the Dazzle with his Omni Slash. Finally, Night Stalker dropping down, so the Zeus using his Lightning Bolt. Another Lightning Bolt to the face, and Vengeful Spirit will be the next target that Zeus claims. 3 down on the side of Abraxas, and only 2 on Team Slark in this whole scenario. Team Slark not really getting a lot better initiation, having everyone pretty much gathered up from the start, whereas Abraxas had more of a 1-by-1 go-in train. Almost at the 7k net worth lead, and now it's going back towards 5,000. So Team Slark taking back the little loss they had earlier and making it into something they can still do. Middle tower dropping fairly low, but Nature's Prophet is not greedy, so he's just gonna, you know, be careful, not gonna be too greedy in terms of pushing. We have once again the Night Stalker and the Vengeful doing some dual smoking. Now going towards the bottom lane. Gyrocopter's in the woods. It's just about getting the right initiation happening. Invisible picked up by Vengeful Spirit, so he's not scared of going in at all. But as we can see, we have actually a 5-man smoke commitment from Team Slark. So I wonder if they're gonna meet anyone. The Vengeful and the Night Stalker are still looking for someone. Invis is on the Vengeful. He pops most of the smokes. They try and use a lightning bolt, but it looks like Vengeful Spirit is gonna be fine. Sentry Ward gets put down, and he's just gonna go into the trees and try and TP out. He's gonna hide for a little bit, and now tries to TP out. So no one is gonna die from this 5-man smoke commitment from Team Slark so far. Silencer being in the woods. He needs to TP out now, otherwise he might be in trouble. Did he get spotted out there? I'm not sure.
Radiant's top tower is under
TP out, goddamn fool. Is he actually trying to like make a team fight happen?
Dire's bottom
Top lane
tower is
Juggernaut is
under
pushing,
attack.
almost taking the tower to half. Zeus TP away, and now Silencer is finally gonna show himself using his ultimate, so no spells is gonna get used from Team Slark. Dazzle being the first one to die, Swap gets used on Bane to stop the TP, and Jericho is also gonna die. 3 kills towards Abraxas. Silencer being awarded for this patient sitting in the woods and almost risking his life to set up a good kill. But in the end it will work, cancelling every kind of spell that could be used. Cooldown not getting available because of the ultimate. And now they're gonna rotate in and make these 3 kills into a Roche push. And you know, they're gonna take it. They have the Nature's Prophet who has the trees that can tank. The Roche is almost down. And you know, Team Slark not in any position to stop this. Silencer now having 18 stolen intelligence and now having Aegis on top of that. 2k gold banked up, so he could buy a maybe Shadow Blade, maybe a Blink. It kind of depends. Like, I guess he wants to initiate a little bit better. It is the Blink after all. Earthshaker finally getting a Blink of his own, so he also has his core item. Bane still very poor, trying to make his way into something like an Aether Lens. Dazzle also not really having anything special. 4 staff on Zeus. And having some fun with an illusion, man. Gyrocopter does have Helm of the Dominator and Yasha, but he's almost 4,000 gold behind Juggernaut, who's sitting on a Yasha on top of his Battle Fury and Aquila. So pretty much having one entire item more than Gyrocopter. And I would argue that he can also farm a lot faster, being 2 levels ahead. Having a Battle Fury means he's farming pretty fast. Night Stalker has his urn, and he's actually gonna make straight away his progress towards an Acronym Scepter, realizing that the Vision game is actually gonna be amazing for them. Getting a point booster now. Vengeful Spirit not really having anything special. I can imagine he wants to pick up a medallion once he has a little bit more gold. But so far just having a Tranquil boost to make him a little bit more tanky, a little bit harder to kill. Nature's Prophet on top of the drums from earlier, picking up some damage-oriented item, which is his Maelstrom. Adds to the push and adds to the early game damage. We know that Maelstrom can do quite a lot of damage against the unwary.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's gonna be interesting to see how this Blink Dagger on Earthshaker is gonna potentially change things around, because we've been seeing that Abraxas has been the ones initiating so far, and the Global Silence is really putting Team Slark in a horrible position every single time. Juggernaut also stealing a pretty big stack. I think it was stacked 2 times, so getting some good gold stolen there. Poor Gyrocopter having to deal with nothing whatsoever. We can see Team Slark being very defensive on the map, but they really need to get an initiation going. Then they have the Cold One, they have Zeus Ultimate, they have Earthshaker with his Blink Dagger, so potentially they have a lot of damage that could be put in, and if they catch off 3 to 4 people, maybe that could be the way that they turn things around and get a huge kill. That's already in the 12,000 net worth lead from Abraxas. So they really need to stop them from doing too much. Nature's Prophet trying to, you know, rat-a-tat-tat in the bottom lane, while the rest of his team seems to be just taking the top tier 2 tower, still having Aegis ready. Omnislash gets used on the Gyrocopter. He's scraped up, so he's gonna live for now. But Juggernaut wants his boot, hey! Gets forced off the way, and he's actually gonna survive. Zeus 4 staff in the end paying very well off, saving him this time. However, no one on Apex is gonna die for that. It's gonna be an Omnislash commitment, but that's about it. The tier 2 is getting fortified, but I can't imagine anything that they just want to take it anyways. Silence is still having Aegis up for around 1 minute. Bottom lane getting pushed by the Nature's Prophet. He does have trees up soon. He starts to back off and he just lets them deny the tower because, you know, it's the most imaginable thing is that he's gonna be the target to get killed if he gets too greedy, so he's just gonna back off, not gonna risk his life for that tower kill. And the only tier 2 left standing is in the middle lane, where there's a creep wave already being pushing towards it. Nice Dog are trying to
Radiant's
get
middle
aggressive
tower
on it
is
with the
under
creeps.
attack.
However, Team Slark is in a position to potentially turn things around. They are ready to go.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Can actually see Nature's Prophet being a bit of a team player, realizing that the biggest way they can come back on Team Slark is getting a good initiation from Earthshaker, a lot of damage being used from Zeus, and he will now buy a Hood of Defiance, having a headdress, so that he's 800 gold to go for a pipe for his team, which is gonna shut down a lot of the damage from Team Slark. So if they let him finish this before the next team fight, it could be very hard for them to break through. I wonder what they're thinking. Aetherland's now up on Zeus, so he does have I guess the biggest item, and it is a smoke that is coming out. The egg is just getting claimed, so they want to do some 4 to 5 man smoke attack. However, they need to push the waves before they do this, otherwise it's gonna be a little bit too obvious. Top lane is pushed in, bottom lane pushed in from this Nature's Prophet just sitting and hiding in the trees. However, they will 4-man push. They want to look for something. The smoke pops. Nice Dog is seeing them. Having this ward and hiding in the trees means he can see them. But he gets caught off. Bane using his ultimate onto the Nice Dog. And Nice Dog gets killed. Vengeful is the target of Earthshaker. Gets killed. Global Silence gets committed by Silencer, but they did already use the spells necessary to kill the 2 heroes. Top lane, however, we have Gyrocopter getting killed by the Omni Boy and Silencer. So a 2-for-1, 2 supports for position 1. I mean, even though Team Slugger is behind, so it's a valuable trade for them, it's still trading the position 1 for this. Not sure if that's worth it. Now a push is going to happen inside the base. Juggernaut quickly blinking away with the newly purchased blink on top of the Sancho and Yasha. Already having 2000 gold to back these 2 things up. Silencer making his way towards his BKB, not wanting to let Zeus and Earthshaker do too much damage to him. He has it in a few more last hits. Nice Dog are now buying the second component for his Aghanim Scepter. Vengeful, I guess it's gonna be an Aetherlance for him as well. Nature's Prophet is soon done with his pipe. In the top lane actually we have what is it? 2 people being a little bit too far out. Earthshaker getting killed by the Omni Slash boy. Rod of Athos getting used by Dazzle, but he gets forced off to safety. Not gonna just die yet. Zeus with the forced off save once again. However, Earthshaker did get killed. Rod of Athos gets used once again. Grave being committed onto the Bane. And Silence is just gonna say, okay, use spells. You use many spells, I'm just gonna walk away. The middle lane being pushed by the Vengeful Spirit, so I can imagine they want to rotate around and take the last remaining tier 2 before worrying too much about the next mission. There's still some time left before the Roche respawns. Some minutes left, so they do have time. So not being too aggressive, but just taking the time they need. Juggernaut now buying a Skull Basher, so he's starting to be a pretty huge force. We can see he's actually gonna go on the Dazzle Boy using his Omni Slash, but the Grave gets used before Silence uses his ultimate. I'm not sure if that was I guess that was the game plan, that he was gonna use the Global Silence straight away, but sadly not that quick on his fingers this time, and Dazzle will get the Grave off and survive. Radiant's Courier get killed. Yep, having 900 gold on him, so I guess that's an Aetherlance completed on the Bane that got denied. He has the recipe on him, so rest in peace Aetherlance, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for that. Bottom lane, Earthshaker trying to do something to Nature's Prophet, who now has the pipe finished. As I was saying, that's probably gonna spell trouble. Zeus now buying his Blink Dagger, so he has the 2 initiation items forced off Blink, so he's pretty mobile. But having only Aetherlance as the damage items, it's kind of limited how much he can do. Gyrocopter slowly making progress towards a BKB. He needs the last component, 1000 gold to go. And that's pretty much gonna be the biggest item that you can get on the team. having him with a BKB means that he can get the cooldown off finally without worrying about the silencer getting these annoying global silencers off. Throughout most of the game, the global silencers has been pretty nice and pretty spot on. Glimmer Cape is actually the item that Vengeful bought. I guess that also makes sense. I was saying an Aether Lens, but they do not have a Glimmer Cape, and now they do. Obviously, Team Slark does have a lot of magic damage, so Glimmer Cape is definitely useful to have. Roche respawning, so Abraxas finds out very quickly, and they're gonna, just try and hit it. We have the Team Slark just sitting in the base, not really having any smoke. Spain has the smoke in the stash, but not really being in any position to go out, so they have to put their money on the high ground defense. Seemingly Juggernaut wants to fast farm for an Abyssal Blade before he wants to push. There's about 1000 gold to go, and he's very much trying to farm fast. But we're gonna see if they want to push before that or after. Nature's Prophet doing his rat-a-tat-tat in the bottom lane. Top lane Silencer is standing here, but I'm not sure if he's... it looks like there's some smoke commitment. They want to kill Silencer. Bane, Dazzle, Earthshaker being smoked, Zeus sitting in the back. And they really want to kill this player. He's hiding in the trees, however, so the smoke might be popping if they take a few steps further. The smoke now pops on Earthshaker, Bane, and Dazzle, but it's too late. They see him, they're gonna commit on him. Echo Slam gets used, Bane ult gets used, and they will kill him. So not reacting quick enough and getting his sorry ass out of there. T2 now gets claimed in the middle lane, and they're probably just gonna force them back. TPs go back, they are not gonna get the top tower. Bottom lane getting pushed by Nature's Prophet, half the tower being taken. Echo Boy is going very deep, using 4-staff as well from the Zeus to get deeper. And the jumps means that Echo Boy is actually gonna die. That's not expecting the jump to go in that direction back onto the Earthshaker, which is also a bit unlucky for the Earthshaker, and he will get killed.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Nice Dog now completing his Aghanim Scepter, Vengeful supporting him with a gem purchase. So now the vision game is surely gonna begin. Abyssal Blade being shown by the Juggernaut trying to kill the Dazzle, but he gets forced off the way so he won't get killed initially. He uses Grave on himself, and Juggernaut's just forced to walk away. Nature's Prophet, he has nearly 4000 gold banked up, still kinda thinking about the next item of choice. He could both be working his way towards an Aghanim just for the ultimate push, but as we can see, that might not be the item he really desires. Maybe something like a BKB just to fight a little bit better makes more sense. I mean, all the lanes are pretty much pushing in all the time anyways, so Aghanims might not be that much needed, at least not right now. We have some lovely drawings from Bane trying to say that we see Juggernaut, we see Silencer. Maybe they want to try and pick one off once again as they did the Silencer earlier. Juggernaut, however, just picked up a double damage. So they want to find someone. Gyrocopter getting Rod of Atos. He does pop his BKB and he's going to be safe for now. BKB gets committed though. Juggernaut goes in with the Abyssal Blade, tries to kill the Gyrocopter. He gets stunned again. Bash, bash, bash gets swapped away, and even though he got graved, he's still gonna die. Bane getting killed swiftly by the Juggernaut, having double damage. Juggernaut goes even deeper, killing the Dazzle. Earthshaker getting killed by the Silencer. Good game, well played. Gets cold. Using a little bit of a BM ultimate. Not gonna kill anyone. GG, well played. Gets called. Team Slark losing, meaning that Abraxas will take game 1, 21-10. As I was saying at the start of the game, Silence really being a game breaker for Team Slark, having so much team fight, but they could never really manage to pull it off because the global silence was just in the way time after time. And now they're forced to see if they can pull it back in game 2. So let's take it to that. Good game, boys. Good game, well played. a very nice game. I mean, they had the tools on Team Slark, but as I was saying, the global silence is fucking them up throughout the early game, making sure that Abraxas just had such a huge lead. So it's kind of starts to be getting to the point where Zeus is not going to be useful anymore, since Silence are having BKB, they have pipe, stuff like that. Very hard to kill them. And they could just never pull off the amazing team fight they have, sadly. Do-do-do-do. Anyways, I'm just gonna, put on some music while we wait for the next game to begin. So take a break, get some drinks, and prepare yourselves for game 2. teams tend to go to in the current patch. Obviously having a lot of healing power, mostly in the earlier stages of the game. Both having a lot of healing and a lot of damage with the burst.
Radiant team pick.
And they will actually match this with a Nyx Assassin. A big boy pick against the Outworld Devourer, saying, oh no, you will not just pick that here and get away with it without us trying to stop you. Nyx Assassin obviously punishing intelligence heavy heroes. OD steals intelligence with his right clicks. So if anyone is considered a high mana hero, high intelligence hero, then OD is definitely up there in the top.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
A very interesting pick. I mean, it's good against Outworld Devourer, but there's still 4 picks from Team Slark that can make them punish the Nyx Assassin pick, since the Nyx Assassin is not really a very strong laner and can easily be punished if he's put in the offlane position without help. So we can see a lot of things happening. Team Slark now taking the Vengeful Spirit that was talked about earlier. Some team is destined to take this here since it's just so good. And you know, Team Slark is just gonna say, this is ours. You take Oracle, we will just take a Vengeful Spirit. No hard feelings here. Juggernaut and Spiritbreaker being banned. Spiritbreaker is mostly the same reason as last game, because Nyx Assassin is very vulnerable against the Spiritbreaker. If he gets charged from a far distance and then somewhere in between the time, which is maybe like 20 to 30 seconds before he hits, uses his invis, tries to go on a mission, or just get caught off guard, then he can be in heavy trouble.
Reserve time.
And Juggernaut being banned from Team Slark. I guess Outworld Devourer has a lot of magical damage, Vengeful Spirit also magical, so makes sense, I suppose. But the thing is, the Arcane Orb is pure damage, so I'm not really sure if it's one of the better options. I mean, Outworld Devourer also having his Astral Imprisonment, which can be a very good defensive item, well, not item, ability against the Omnislash. So I'm not really sure if this was the most annoying hero to deal with, but I could imagine they want to look for something like a Gyrocopter for their own lineup. Oh no, as I say that, they banned the Gyrocopter. They don't want that. What am I talking about? So the two carry heroes we were seeing the last game, Gyrocopter, Juggernaut being banned out. So we're gonna see something completely different this time around. The only one still standing from the last game is the Vengeful Spirit. Omni Knight now being the next ban. Obviously both Oracle and Nyx is purely magical damage, meaning that Omni Knight could spell trouble for them. And now they pick up a third magical damage user, Skywrath Mage. So they are going pretty YOLO with the magic damage. Omni Knight being banned and Slark banning out the Juggernaut, so potentially there could be a lot of value in going for this hardcore quality magic damage. Skywrath Mage also being a very aggressive damage dealer in the laning stage. So it fits well having a bit of a greedier pick in Nyx Assassin and then having two supports that can be pretty aggressive in the earlier stages. Oracle is obviously not a heavy damage dealer necessarily before he gets a few levels in his heal, but the Fortune's End, meaning he can charge up a stun, can be very annoying. And Skywrath Mage definitely brings to the table all the burst damage they could imagine, all the burst damage they could ever want. Undying now getting picked up by Team Slark, most likely gonna be in a supportive position. Having the Tombstone is very good against most heroes on Abraxas. They are low HP heroes. Decay can punish them, since for the same reason, low HP. Undying also has a heal, so they're not gonna just get instantly bursted down. A tanky hero on its own as well, so a lot of decent uses. Sven now being the big boy pickup from Abrax. They have three heroes which purely brings magic damage to the table, and now they go for the heavy physical damage right clicker in Sven. He adds a lot of armor to the team, and the God's strength means that he can
10
pretty much do
seconds
enough
remaining.
physical damage for 10 heroes.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Team Slark having to respond to this. The Juggernaut and the Chariot couple is down, so they could be. So they. I mean, there's still heroes like Slark in the pool, but I don't feel like Slark is that good against Sven, since Sven will just demolish him, especially adding up the Skywrath Mage Silence. Nyx Assassin can do a lot of damage to Slark, instantly killing him. That's probably not going to be the
10
hero.
seconds remaining.
And I say a lot of reasons why it's going to be hard for Slark. Slark is then picked, so everything I say that's not going to happen is definitely going to happen. Obviously it can work. You just need a lot of stats before Slark can be doing the thing he does best.
Remaining.
But I guess it's also about what else would you
5
pick if
seconds
not Slark.
remaining.
Then maybe you would be forced into some tanky pick like a Dragonite, which is a bit uncontroversial. An
Reserve
Anti-Mage
time.
is pretty much out of the question since they have a lot of ways to deal with him. PL, I mean, PL could be okay,
Radiant
but
team
since
back.
Skywrath Mage can use his silence, which is pretty much an instant use, then PL is kind of easy to kill. Sven also being AoE hitting hero, so PL is not really scary. Ember Spirit,
10
same issue
seconds
with the
remaining.
silence from Skywrath Mage. So Skywrath Mage, the silence from this hero really
5
puts a
seconds
damper on a
remaining.
lot of the carry potential picks that Team Slug could come with. Now ending up with a Slug.
Reserve time.
And Abrax,
Dire team
I suppose
pick.
they're gonna pick a mid hero and have the Nyx Assassin in the off lane, but we could see the other way around happening, since Nyx Assassin is kinda vulnerable to Slark in the lane. When he gets pounced, he can he's not really a tanky hero, and other than using his spike carapace, he doesn't really have any way of defending himself. So we
10
might
seconds
see Nyx
remaining.
in the mid lane position against the Outworld Devourer, but then
5
again, that
seconds
lane is
remaining.
also horrible for him. So I guess it's gonna be a mid hero after all from Abrax. And Nyx Assassin
Reserve
most likely
time.
just gonna get help from his support heroes. Maybe they're even gonna run an aggressive lane and have Nyx Assassin solo in the safe lane. That is most likely what I would like the most. Sven is definitely not a hero that fears a aggressive lane. Skywrath Mage very powerful in terms of bursting,
Radiant
Oracle having
team
the
pick.
heals. So I could definitely imagine this happening. And they will finish up the lineup with a Magnus. The reason that Magnus is pretty good here is Magnus can use his RP to set up for Skywrath Mage's stun. You can use an AoE Impale to hit a lot of heroes. The Oracle can hit a lot of heroes with his Fortune's End, Storm Hammer, AoE from Sven. So a lot of different
10
ways that
seconds
Magnus
remaining.
really can be amazing against the lineup of Team
5
Slug if he
seconds
hits
remaining.
3 or more people in the RP. That means that Sven is just gonna instantly
Reserve
kill 3
time.
people, usually. And obviously in power, also very powerful with Sven adding to the AoE power of him and the damage itself. So quite a powerful combo, those two heroes. Team Slark will now pick the last hero, which is gonna be a Legion Commander. One of the more uncontroversial picks, probably gonna be sent to the off lane. However, it's one of those, it's a tanky hero, which is definitely something they need. It's a hero that can stop the stuns. In case someone gets stunned, like Outworld Devourer gets RP'd, he can use his thing to get him out. Then they have Astral Imprisonment, stuff like
Prepare
that. A
for
lot of
battle.
ways to stop stuns and silences for that use. And the biggest reason is Legion Commander is one of those heroes that if you don't get a good start, if he ends up roaming around getting some good duel victories, then it can spell quite a lot of trouble for Abrax. Having 3 heroes that can potentially all become right click as Outworld Devourer, Slark, and Legion Commander. I'm not sure if this is just Mr. Famous who's trolling this Skywrath Mage, blocking him away, but hey, having fun. Bottom lane we have Nyx Assassin trying to go on a warding mission. Vengeful Spirit says, please, don't do this. TPing to the bottom lane, placing aggressive ward and spotting him up before he even goes into the jungle.
30 seconds to battle.
A lot of heroes in the top lane looking for something, but nothing's gonna happen. Maybe they're trying to bait the rune, trying to make someone go from this way, but that ain't gonna happen. Magnus is gonna casually take it. Nyx is watching the rune, but he's probably just gonna back off. And it's gonna be a casual rune swap. Legion being in a pretty decent position to block the lane. Nyx Assassin trying to make his way back so he can do the same. And the game shall go on. Magnus being alone in the middle lane right now. Undying seemingly ready to annoy him. But no, he's just gonna go towards top to help his Legion friend. It is a tri-lane in the top lane from Abraxas, having Skywrath, Mage Sven and Oracle. So Nyx Assassin was in the end left alone in this bottom lane. It's a dual lane, so it could be worse having a tri-lane or something, but honestly, it's not the best lane for him. He does do a lot more damage than Vengeful Spirit, but once he gets pounced, it can be quite devastating for him. We have top lane, both teams being very aggressive to each other. Undying using a lot of decay, Sven dropping to half health. We know that Undying is the god against tri-lanes because that's just more targets for decay to hit. So it can be very painful. Middle lane we have Magnus losing a lot of intelligence due to the steal from OD. Bottom lane, Nyx Assassin trying to be a smartass. So far in terms of last hits, we have the middle lane. The dire side, Abraxas, is having a little bit more fun with having Mr. Very Famous here. Having a decent chunk of last hits. I'm just lying though. As we can see. What? That's it. Okay. OD now leading. He had a huge chunk that made him get up on the top. OD being ahead, Slark being ahead of the Sven already. But that's due to the offlane of Team Slark being pretty decent, having Legion Commander burst, having the K-Boy hit and be annoying. And you know, now trying to make it a pull, but denied by the supports. Bottom lane we have Nyx Assassin whiffing his amazing stun, and now that he might be in trouble. Vengeful Spirit going close, trying to use his stun, but doesn't want to use it because he just tried to bait the Spike Carapace, knowing that that's gonna be the best thing. Middle lane, Very Famous dropping very low. 7-7 from Team Slark, punishing him with this amazing Outworld Devourer, hitting so goddamn hard. It's very quiet from both teams so far. As I was saying before, Team Slark is so far leading the last hits quite substantially. Magnus trying to do some skewer back onto the OD, but in the end all he gets is a lot of right clicks into the face. So it is indeed Team Slug leading in terms of last, and now finally in the top lane we have the first blood onto Oracle. Undying using Tombstone, having Solar and having 5 decay stacks, so doing a lot of damage. Trying to stop this intelligence from Skywrath Mage, Skywrath dropping very low. The heal gets used from Legion Commander, making sure he's not stunned anymore. Undying is very low, stun on Legion Commander. Cell got used by the Skywrath, but looks like, okay, finally Legion does get killed. Undyne dropping low, almost killing the Skywrath, but in the end he will also die. Double kill for the Oracle using this burst with Purifying Flames. Does a lot of damage. Bottom lane, Magnus has rotated in using Skewer on the Vengeful Spirit. A stun follow up, and he's gonna get melted to the ground. Mid lane we can see Magnus being nearly 1.5 level behind the OD. Obviously he did have to rotate to the safe lane of Slark, killing the support, which is nice, but OD is definitely taking the lead in this mid lane, doing a lot of damage to this Magnus. Rotation coming from the Oracle, but I doubt they're gonna do anything. Magnus not having any mana whatsoever, losing all of his intelligence to the Outworld Devourer's right clicks. Slark bottom lane being left alone a little bit, trying to get level 6. Nexus now also getting very close to his own level 6, so you can see some action going on from these two heroes. Legion still needing the last double before the duel comes into play, which is obviously gonna be a big factor. He now gets charged up with the Oracle stun, gets silenced, gets double stunned. They're trying to heal him, a heal coming from Undyne. He self-heals himself. He's gonna get a lot of healing with this Vengeful coming in from the other lane. Stun being used on the Oracle, and it looks like Oracle is in trouble. A triple stun actually getting used. Verify and make sure Oracle won't die straight up. And Legion is in the end gonna be the one dying. Sven hitting the triple stun. Slow on Undyne. Undyne trying to kill the Sven, having a lot of damage. He actually kills him with the Soul Rip, but then straight after he dies. Once again, Oracle bursting people down so they die, getting the 3rd kill of his life. Some good rotations from Magnus, but even though the rotations means that they get some more kills than Team Slark does, it also means that both Slark and Outworld Devourers pretty much having free lanes. We can see the last hits, they have almost 50, where Sven is sitting on 25. Legion Commander actually almost having the same amount of last hits as Sven does, so the laning stage is definitely showing something. Team Slark almost having a 1k net worth lead at 7 minutes, which is quite substantially, especially when they're behind in kills. Next being not really rotating yet, just you know, buying some arcane boots, getting more levels. He's now level 7, so he's just trying to get as much out of this lane as he can. We have Magnus setting up here ready, using the RP, the unwary Legion Commander. He does get stunned, so the skew back won't happen. He now goes into the position and actually ends up skewing both because of the stun. And double kill going to the side of Magnus. That's very needed that he got the kills, because now he bought his arcane boots and can start making his way towards a blink dagger, using the RP in the start, the first RP used in the game, and getting double kill. Nicely played. It's kind of funny how the Vengeful Spirit stun meant that both Vengeful and Legion got killed, because if he didn't stun him, the Legion was just going to be the one caught. So it's funny how to see how things can go. In the bottom lane, we have Slark getting a solo kill onto the Nyx. As I was saying, Nyx is kind of in trouble. He did have his Vendetta ready. I'm not sure why he didn't use it. I guess he thought he was gonna be fine if he just walked away. Sadly not what you want happening, having the safe lane Slark getting a solo kill, now being 2 levels ahead of the opponent's safe lane Sven. I mean, Sven is by heart gonna hit a lot harder than this Slark, but if Slark has too much of a lead from the early game, he's actually gonna be more than fine. Legion Commander having a couple of casual base items. He might even start greeding towards a blink dagger, because, you know, he has his deal ready and he wants to get dual damage as soon as possible. So, you know, pinging going on, Undyne being ready, But both Oracle and the Nyx Assassin now rotating in, having Vendetta up. A stun does get used onto the Legion Commander. Double stun, triple stun, and it looks like Legion Commander is in trouble. The magic one means that he's gonna heal up, but the Oracle bursting him down. Outworld Devour and Vengeful plus Slark rotating in. Oracle getting killed. Outworld Devour looks for more, getting stunned by the Sven, dropping pretty low. Nyx Assassin is chasing the Nick. Is getting chased by the Slark, and Slark will claim the kill. So much damage to the Magnus. OD committing his ultimate, thinking that was gonna be enough. Magnus surviving with about 50 HP. So in the end it's just gonna be 2 kills to the side of Team Slark. 2 for 1, man, but hey, still worth it. Now having a 1500 net worth lead. That's also the first rotation from the Outworld Devourer in the game. Now completing a Hand of Midas, meaning that he's going for this. Let's get a lot of stats, let's get a lot of items, let's get a lot of farm levels and all that good stuff. Sven now rotates to the bottom lane, maybe realizing that the top trident didn't really work out the way they might have wanted it to, and he really needs more farm. So trying to get some solo lane experience. Oracle obviously being there in case of emergency to heal him up, to help him up, getting his level 6 as well, so he has that tool available. We have the Legion Commander in the bottom lane though, so I guess he's trying to follow the Sven around, maybe get some dual action if he gets caught off. Slark is going from the side, he finds the Oracle, his pounce is up and ready. Is he gonna hit it? That's the question. He doesn't hit it. The Sven going towards the bottom side. Now getting stunned, and you know, there's still 7 seconds before the next one up. Legion actually going back, getting stunned by the Sven. Sven uses ult. Nyx using his ultimate as well, quickly killing off the Legion Commander. Magnus also rolling into the lane. A double RP being used on OD and Undying. The Skywrath ult not really being used properly, but in the end they get 3 kills. Double kill once again for the Oracle, claiming so many kills. Slark and Vengeful, the last 2 people standing. Vengeful Spirit now being slowed a little bit, being blocked a little bit, and he will get melted by the burst power of Abraxas. Slark being the last man standing from this team fight. We can see the lead that was on above 2000 net worth is now dropping down to absolutely nothing, so the tables have turned and it's now an equal fight once again. Taking this one team fight into a push, claiming the first tower of the game by the looks. Magnus defending the middle lane, top lane getting pushed a little bit, but it's in nowhere near getting killed. Bottom lane now losing the tower. We did see how painful it can be having this Sven and Magnus combo, especially with the RP just quickly killing 2 people. Outworld Devour doesn't have many stats right now. He did go for the more greedy item choice in the Hand of Midas. It's obviously, I would say it's fine since he does need a lot of levels to stay ahead. But maybe it's gonna bite him in the ass. Magnus now finishing his Blink Dagger finally at 12, nearly 13 minutes into the game on top of his Arcane Boots. So even though he had a rocky start in terms of last hits, he still has a decent blink timing, which is what it's all about on this hero. Smoke being used on the Skywrath Mage together with the Nyx Assassin. Well, Nyx Assassin not being part of the smoke, but being Vendetta. They're looking for someone who's coming in. Vengeful Spirit is making his way. Oracle is actually also part of the smoke. He was just sitting in the back for a little bit, placing an aggressive ward. And you know, searching the woods, but it looks like they're not really gonna find anyone. Legion Commander being under the tower, not gonna show himself. The smoke now popping away, but they might be close enough to get this guy. They go on him, and dodging the stun, 2 people rotating in. Sven dying in one of the other lanes. Outworld Devourer now using his Asper Persimmon on his teammate, making sure he doesn't die. And now there are 4 people chasing the Nyx and Skywrath and Oracle. Slark coming in with a newly purchased Shadow Blade. He's gonna find someone, he's gonna pick his target. He picks the Oracle, and Oracle is actually swiftly gonna die, using his ultimate to stay alive for a little bit longer. trying to heal up, but I'm pretty sure he's still gonna die. Using the duel actually to make sure they get something, but he's actually healing up enough to survive. The duel doesn't get anything done. A nice RP saving that duel potential is coming up, but Magnus and Oracle will still die. Nyx dropping very low with this use of Legion Commander. Now Sven going in. Nyx also dropping down. Slark getting pretty low. But it looks like they're gonna claim a kill. Slark does have his ultimate available, pops it so he doesn't get hit by the Sven. Now 4 people on the side of Abraxas is down, and now it's Slark's turn to take this and make it into push for the towers. They didn't claim the first duel of the game. Magnus very much denying that potential, but instead of the duel, they got 4 kills. So could have been definitely worth it, man. Definitely worth it. And previous to that fight, also Slark killing the Sven in the top lane, more or less alone, maybe having some help, but didn't really see the kill. But we can imagine that Slark is happy with it, how this is going now, still being 2 levels ahead, having this completed Shadow Blade on top of his Aquila and Shreds at 15 minutes, which is a nice timing. It's a decent timing. Legion trying to farm up the last remaining stuff for his Blink. This is going to be the Brown Boot Magic Wand Blink, so he can get some good initiation. A smoke once again being used on Skywrath, Oracle and Magnus. Magnus has his RP ready, so they want to get someone. The question is, who is going to show up in the middle lane? Looks like maybe Vengeful is going to go into farm. Uses his aura, but he stays quite far back. Magnus sees him. They might be going for this. The skewer back happens. He doesn't commit the RP, so it's just going to be a skewer back, and they will quickly take a kill. In the top lane, we have Nyx being a little bit annoying, not getting killed straight away, even though they tried to. Slark being spotted up with the Nyx, both with wards and stuff like that. They're trying to push the lane, having 4 people up here. Nyx could be going into position to do something about this if rotations were to come. But it seems like they're just gonna go for casual tower trade. The rest of his team trying to take the middle tower.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
There's not really any TPs ready to be used, so the mid tower is most likely going to be taken. Vengeful Spirit actually being in the lane once again and getting killed. Twice in a row being the guy to die. And however, Abrax is going to stop the push, knowing that Team Slark might be looking to rotate to the lane. There are a lot of people in the woods, so you know, not being too aggressive. Magnus is making his way towards his own Shadow Blade. Legion Commander finally getting the Blink Dagger that he's been trying to get for so long. Outworld Devourer has his own Blink. Slark has a Blessed Orb on top of the Shadow Blade. Undying trying to get a mech. Vengeful Spirit has nothing. Sven having on top of the Helm's Dominator buying a Blink Dagger of his own, so he's a little bit more initiate-y, a little bit more powerful. Nyx having his completed Aether Lens. And let's see, Oracle almost having a mech, and nothing else really being made. Silence and stun onto Outworld Devourer. Good RP hitting off the Slark as well, not getting to use the Dark Pact and quickly dying. Undying is dropping very low. A triple stun from the Impale of Nyx. And looks like they're gonna chase this guy. Skewer back is being used. Undying is in trouble and he will get killed. However, in the top lane, this Sven is chasing the Vengeful Spirit, trying to get an easy kill. Blink is up in about 1 second. And nope, he's not gonna get juked. He's gonna get him, he's gonna take him. 4 dead on Team Slark, Legion being the last one standing. I mean, you can see it, how these two teams are just messing with each other. It's going one way, then it's going the other way, then it's going one way again. A lot of back and forward. Now like mid tower being claimed by Abrax.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Definitely a lot of fighting potential from both teams. They're not giving up. It feels like there's no equal trading. It's just either one team wins badly or the other team wins badly. There's never really a middle ground. Sven now making his way to what I can imagine being an early BKB, having an Ogre Club. There's also a lot of times where people buy Sanch and Yasha, but I can imagine being against this lineup that he just wants to have his trusty BKB. I could be wrong, however. That is not the first time I would be wrong. Buying a Mythril Hammer, that confirms it. It is going to be the BKB. Mech now up on Oracle. Still the next assassin. Urn being the purchase on Skywrath Mage. Deny the goddamn tile, boys. Magnus finishing his Shadow Blade, so some more sneaky peeky initiation. 4-man smoke from the side of Team Slark. They want a kill, they want a duel. They find the Sven. They blink a little bit past and duel gets used, and it looks like this time it's gonna happen. The Outworld Devourer are doing so much damage, and Sven is gonna drop down. The first duel of the game being claimed by Legion Commander. It was a level 2 duel, so it's 14 damage stolen. We see Magnus actually hitting 4 people, a combo with Skywrath Mage, 3 people dying straight off the bat, Slark trying to get out. The combo is real, boys. Impale hitting all 4, Magnus RP on 4, and the Skywrath Mage ultimate doing so goddamn much damage. They're now trying to chase the Outworld Devourer, not being allowed to blink away, getting slowed, getting Skywrath spammed and stuff like that, and he will get killed by the long-range Oracle spell. 4 dead once again from Team Slark. Sven did get killed with a duel, but the amazing Magnus Skywrath Mage Nyx combo hitting all the AoE spells right on target on 4 people, punishing them for the rotation they were making and really taking the advantage of how they were all stacked up quickly. They will now claim a mid tower. And we can see the train says it all, man. Slark actually trying to do something fancy, gets hit by the edge of the long range Impale and will get killed for this attempt to kill someone. Sven going for skewer back onto Vengeful Spirit, swapping the Undying, letting the tanky boy be in the front. And Legion Commander is gonna claim a duel onto Oracle by the looks. Oracle does get... Okay, it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna delay it far enough. Oracle gets killed and then the second duel gets claimed. Magnus using Shadowblade, just trying to get out. They still need to deny the middle tower. But even though well, it's a 1-for-1. A dual win and Oracle kill for a Slark kill. So I guess it's pretty much an even trade when you look at the overall picture. Not denying the tower, boys. This is what happens. Legion Commander claiming an easy tower. Sven will have the BKB ready for the next fight. He needs, well, 5 more gold. Magnus having 1500 gold nearly, so I guess he can be building his last item of the trifecta mobility item, which is the Force Staff. It's gonna be up soon. Oracle finishing a Guardian Greaves at 22 minutes. Nice item to have. Skywrath Mage still only having the Urn. We see the Undying now finishing his mech. Vengeful trying to make his medallion. Outworld Devourer, he's making his slow progress towards a BKB of his own, being tired of all these stuns. Legion Commander's, well, you know, the casual blade mill on top of the blink, so he gets easier duels, which is definitely needed. He only has 2 duels so far. Slark is trying to buy a Skadi, but well, he's about 1800 gold away from it. Let's see the net worth wise. Sven is still leading 1000 gold ahead of Slark. OD following up the Slark, and Magnus and OD is pretty much equal in terms of net worth. However, the 3 people on Abraxas side, Oracle, Skywrath, Nyx, is leading compared to the other team's Legion Commander Undying being a little bit behind, and Vengeful Spirit being a sad position 5 here who's very starved.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Picking up this trusty Doge. They now jump onto the Undying and swiftly kills him. The Doge doing everything there.
Dire's bottom tower
Giving
is
that
under
crit.
attack.
Look at that Doge.
Dire's
That Doge,
structures
man.
are fortified.
Anyways, bottom lane we have Nyx being in a bit of trouble trying to TP out, but gets denied with the duel. Magnus coming in from the side using an RP on 3 people, skewing them back to the tower. TP coming in from the Skywrath King and the Legion Commander. Now they're chasing the Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful is definitely gonna die as well. Slark beginning the TP out and he will get out. Duel did get claimed, but it's a Nyx Assassin treated with 3 heroes with the rotations coming from both Magnus, Skywrath Mage, Sven, and, well, yeah, Oracle being the one not coming. But no one needs an Oracle. Who wants Oracle, boys? Mr. Famous man. Some high quality RPs this Magnus has been doing so far in this game. Now trying to get a refresher orb on top of his Shadow Blade and Blink Dagger. We have Roche being claimed by the Sven and the Skywrath Mage. Here Skywrath Mage is mostly here for the show, getting some experience sap. Oracle also coming in for the same purpose. And you know, Skadi completed and Egg is taken. Skadi on Slark finally being finished, but it's a pretty scary Sven having BKB, having a Hyperstone making his way to his Assault Cuirass, having an Aegis now and still the Empower from Magnus making him pretty fucking powerful. Skywrath Mage now finishing a 4-star. Nyx Assassin actually buys a gem and makes his way towards his Aghanim Scepter. He does get killed though, and the gem is dropped on the floor. Magnus picks it up. It was Legion who did get once again a duel onto the Nyx Assassin. Slark is coming from the side, trying to kill the Skywrath Mage, but won't kill it. The courier actually gets denied. Well, not denied, gets taken by the Slark. Slark pouncing away, trying to TP out. They don't have any stuns ready when he's in his shadow form, and he's gonna just get out. So doesn't get a kill, but gets a courier. Nyx dying as well to the Legion Commander who dueled him. So another duel being claimed. However, Legion Commander is quite far away from getting his next item, trying to get that Blade Mill up and going. Meanwhile, Nyx has Aetherlands and 2 components for his Aghanim Scepter. Once he has these 2 items, he's pretty much set for life, having the 2 only items that he really needs. Nyx Assassin being a sneaky boy, trying to get something done on the Legion. Undying is here though, and they have the spider senses, man. Look at that Sentry Ward used from Undying. No, he's there. Dueling the Nyx, claiming the duel, and once again Magnus, Mr. Very Popular, coming in with a pretty decent RP. This time his team is not in position to help him though, and he gets killed. The gem gets taken by the Slark. Now Slark goes on the Skywrath Mage, and there's no way the Skywrath Mage is gonna survive. Actually, he miscalculated a little bit the Skywrath, the Slark, thinking that the Oracle wasn't gonna heal enough using Guardian Greaves, using his Purifying Flames. A lot of healing, man. Oh, this Oracle trying to heal once again, but Slark wants a kill. He's not satisfied after the Skywrath surviving what he thought was gonna be a kill. Sven coming from the side, and actually, I don't know what really he's trying to do. He even pops his ultimate there. Now he's in trouble. He blinks away, but it's troublesome how he just loses the Aegis though. And Legion Commander is trying to chase. He has blink up in 1 second. He pops his Blade Mill. Oh, almost finds the Nyx Assassin. They have vision of him. They use the orb, and this is as sure as it should be. But nope, they are a little bit too scary having the Magnus TP in. There's no RP available. Ult got popped by the Sven, and Undying gets killed as his first one. OD going pretty deep for this Skywrath kill. They are now trying to kill the OD before he gets out, and he will die. Sven actually picked up a Moonshot instead of an Assault Cuirass at this point, just hitting like a motorboat. Magnus having enough gold to finish his refresher orb, finally. Vengeful Spirit does manage to find the gold for his medallion. Undying still only has his mech. So even though the 3 cores on Team Slark is doing decently, the Vengeful and the Undying is very starved. We can see them being in the bottom of the table of the net worth. Sven is still the top boy, leading with 2.5k gold on Team Apex. We can see they were ahead with more than 5,000 gold at some point, but as the whole game has been going, it's been going back and forward, and it's maybe Team Slark is going to pull further back. Legion Commander has gained dual victories nicely, even though it was denied from him for the whole early game. Now having 70 stolen damage, which could be building into more, having the Blade Mill completed. Slark's next item of choice is gonna be the Skull Basher. Having the gem he stole earlier from the Nyx, and a Skull Basher means that it's kinda hard for him to get caught off guard, especially by the Nyx. The Nyx having to be very careful now, since he can't just go out and scout kills for his team, giving away the gem that he had earlier.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
We'll see. Looks like both teams is pretty much looking for each other. Magnus does have the double RP, so they do have some heavy ass stuff they can pull out of the bag with this team fight. Sven doing an amazing TP into the trees. Undying just gonna TP home. Nothing gonna happen. And then they're gonna push out the other waves, just casually waiting maybe. Okay, now we see it. Team Slark committing with a 5-man smoke. They want to initiate. They want to let the fast die. They don't want to let Abraxas be the ones to decide when something happens. Slark is invisible. The Spidey sense does put down a sentry ward, mostly just a D ward, but this is gonna be enough to put Team Slark on the back foot, and they're gonna think twice before initiating onto the high ground of Abraxas on the river. Looks like there's a potential smoke coming from Abraxas themselves. Sven now picking up a Satanic, so they have a lot of power already. Looks like they're just sitting around the Roche pit waiting for it to respawn. Actually, 2 people just sitting inside the pit. Magnus is jumping up to the ledge, just trying to get some counter initiation because he imagines that Team Slark is not gonna just let them do whatever they want.
One night, twice the damage.
Rest in peace, man. Initiation from Slark onto the Skywrath Mage. Oracle not quite in time with his ultimate to save him. And then one dead from Abraxas. Impale getting used on the Vengeful Spirit who swapped his friend out. Now Vengeful Spirit dying himself. The double damage and all being popped on the Sven, so he really wants to find someone. But that's not gonna happen. Slark pushing the tier 2 in the top lane, using his Dark Practice, trying to get out, man. He wants to get out. This is actually a BKB usage. They are finding this Outworld Devourer. Oh my god, so goddamn close. He actually that skewer, man. Almost hitting him, but in the end, Outworld Devourer will TP out. Roche now also respawning, so we can see some good action coming up soon. Without a doubt, we're gonna see the Roche action coming up soon from both teams. It's a bit of a bait though. He TP's up to the ledge, but there's 10 seconds cool on the blink. They might go in a little bit earlier than that. 4 more seconds. Team Slark knows they're there. They want to initiate. It looks like Sven is mostly just baiting. It is the Roche bait of a lifetime. Team Slark seems to be aware of this and they're just waiting. The patience from both teams, man. Okay, Sven decides to just start hitting the Roche. Knows that the ultimate does last for quite a long time. They know that it's a bait, so they're just gonna start hitting the Roche. Undying does use his tombstone, so now they know. They use his spells, they know. And the Roche gets claimed. So in the end, what was a fake Roche ends up being a true Roche, and now RP gets used onto the Vengeful and the Slark. Double RP committed, killing both Slark and Vengeful very quickly. Dual kill onto the Magnus from Legion Commander, who gets killed right after by the Sven. And Outworld Devourer and Undying, the last 2 men standing. Looks like Undying is being left alone, and Undying TPing back alone. No, Outworld Devourer TPing back to the base. 4 dead on Team Slark. Triple kill to the Skywrath Mage nonetheless. Now having 2,000 gold, that's a rich kid, man. Next Assassin should have the Aghanim Scepter completed. He very much does. Oracle 2,000 gold as well, so they can pretty much look for another line of support items on this side of Abrax. Magnus did die quite quickly, so he's not gonna have that big a money pool. Sven buying nothing at all, having 3.5k gold. He does have the Satanic from earlier, quickly blinking onto the Vengeful Spirit and killing him off. The Aegis is still up and running. He does have his ult pop, starts working his way onto the Undying. Legion Commander actually gets killed pretty quickly with the help of Skywrath Mage before claiming some dual kills. BKB used from the Sven. Oracle does die. The Slark now tries to hit the Sven. The Sven drops down the first time. Aegis gets popped. Outworld Devourer also buying back. Pretty much everyone, like Slark Legion and stuff, has been buying back from the side of Team Slark. Sven now hitting the Slark pretty heavily. Slark goes invisible and looks like Sven is actually gonna die, getting killed by the Soul Rip. Next Assassin is just hiding here, having his fancy gem taken back, and looks like he's just gonna try and walk away. CP's up before Slark can find him. It's funny how none of the teams can actually manage to reach high ground. It's very interesting. So a 10k net worth lead to Apex, but we can see the dropping of the graph, which was like dropping nerdy completely in one direction. But now Team Slark with that turnaround, getting a little bit of a lead back. Well, not a lead, but at least not giving up just yet. It's only a 10k net worth lead. They can still manage to pull back. Mr. Famous still hasn't really landed his amazing RPs in the last few times, using double RP on a Slark and I believe it was an Undying. I mean, obviously it's some good kills, but compared to the 4-man RPs, the 3-man RPs, stuff like that we've been seeing throughout the whole game, I'm expecting him to land some more big money RPs. But maybe Team Slark is just being a little bit more careful, getting hit by the RPs a little bit too much. Slark is hunting, Shadowblade is there, and we have a TP from Sven using his travel boots. They can actually see the Slark, they know he's there, they use RP after the stun and impale from the next assassin. Sven goes quickly and using his ult, committing everything for that kill. And Slark will drop down. Slark not having buyback for another 4 minutes, they use buyback on all their core heroes. So this is 70 seconds on the sideline where Abraxas can just push how they want. Sven is actually going to go towards the middle lane where there's a tier 3 that's easy to take. Middle rack's dropping very low. The fortify is not ready to be used. Magnus is in a position where he can use, well, can't use RP, which he used before, but he has Refresh up and ready in case he wants to use it. Tries to skewer back, but not gonna happen. They're trying to kill this tombstone. Gets healed up. Sven gets Astral imprisoned. He now gets swapped back. Forced to pop his BKB and will now mow down the Vengeful Spirit. Don't swap me, fool. Mr. Famous hiding in the corner. He did use the refresh up, so RP is ready to be used. He has the Shadowblade that is also used, trying to get a good RP initiation onto the Outworld Devourer. Impale Boy also digging into the ground, trying to do something fancy. And in the end, now we have the initiation. Duel gets used. Undying getting killed very fast from the Sven. Duel onto the Sven, but Sven is actually gonna be the winner. Legion Commander not realizing what's at stake. GG well played actually gets called. And Team Slark surrenders, man. 2 sets of racks almost being taken, and in the end, Abraxas will take game 2 as well. So in the end of the day, it's a 2-0 to the side of Abraxas, just being a little bit too far ahead throughout the mid game and just doing a little bit too much. Team Slark not really managing. I mean, I did talk about the Sven Magnus combo, so it's just so painful. But you know, there was some sparks of hope, but it feels like even though Legion Commander did get a lot of duels done, the hero itself just didn't do enough in the fights. Slark did struggle a little bit once he got hit by the RPs, which was pretty much spot on the whole time. Then he was just too easy to kill. Undying and Vengeful did talk about it throughout the game. They did not really manage to get anything done. We can see it in the net worth, we can see it in the items. They were just poor as shit, man. But that's it for this time, man. So, good game, well played. This is obviously it for my stream/cast as well. I hope you enjoyed watching. You are welcome to hit that follow button, all that good stuff. If you want to see me in the future days, I am going to cast more games tomorrow and stuff like that. I'm not sure there's more games to cast today. And as I say that, I just find out there is a rescheduled game that is coming up later between IG and Prove. So I'm probably gonna, well, Perfection Vor, whatever that means. Some interesting names, but I am possibly gonna be casting that game later. And until then, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.